Hello everyone, my name is Alina. I hold a master level degree in linguistics and I've been preparing students for IELTS for 11 years now. And in this tutorial, we will learn words and phrases which will help you to write about causes and effects of any problem quickly and effortlessly. This is a very common task on the writing section of IELTS, the writing task 2, when you are given a problem and you are asked to elaborate on potential causes of this problem and possible effects or consequences that this problem can lead to if it is left unchecked or left unresolved. So first of all, we will cover some words and expressions that you can use, and in the second part of the tutorial you will see how you can use these words, how you can combine them to create an introduction pretty much for any topic that you can get on IELTS. So first of all, definitely, when you are given a problem, the problems mentioned on IELTS are always common, widespread problems or prevalent problems. Prevalent means common, and the fact of being common or the fact of happening often is the prevalence. So prevalence, we can say the prevalence of a disease or the prevalence of smoking, how many people smoke, or the prevalence of obesity, how many people are overweight or obese. The prevalence of obesity is increasing among children, for example. Also, when we talk about problems, we need some adjectives to describe them. Problems can, of course, be alarming, they can be troubling, and they can be disturbing. Let's take a closer look at these three adjectives. So first, alarming. Alarming means something that causes worry and concern. For example, we can say it's an alarming issue, or I can say the crime rate in the city is increasing at an alarming rate, or the number of overweight children is increasing at an alarming rate. A synonym for alarming is disturbing, and it's a very frequently used adjective. You may have heard, for example, this video contains scenes that some people may find disturbing. Disturbing refers to something that can upset another person or can cause worry and concern. For example, I can say, what makes this issue particularly disturbing are the consequences that it may have. Disturbing. It's a disturbing trend. Obesity among children is a disturbing trend. Disturbing. Another similar adjective is troubling. Troubling means the same as disturbing and alarming. For example, a very similar sentence, I can also say, what makes this issue particularly troubling are the dire consequences that it may entail. And here we have two more words that are very useful when you write about causes and effects. To entail and dire. So to entail means to involve. For example, a large investment like that always involves or always inevitably entails some risk. So a big investment like that inevitably entails some risk. To entail consequences, to entail dire consequences, and dire means serious. For example, this decision will have dire consequences for the local population. Dire consequences, to entail dire consequences. Now, when we talk about causes, we also need to paraphrase the word a cause. And a synonym for a cause would be a contributing factor, or a contributor. For example, I can say, it is believed that lifestyle or modern lifestyle is a major contributor to this problem. Is a major contributor to this problem. Or it is believed that a lack of exercise and poor eating habits are the major contributing factors to this alarming trend. Major contributing factors, or are some of the main contributing factors. And of course, if we are talking about the effects of a problem, effects take place only if the problem is unresolved. So if people, the authorities, the government don't take any measures to prevent this trend, to stop this trend, or to solve the problem. So that's why it's a very good opportunity for you to use unless. Try to use unless when you are talking about effects. For example, unless measures are taken. Unless measures are taken, this disturbing trend may have dire consequences. So unless measures are taken, unless the government intervenes, unless the government steps in, unless people make efforts to curb this alarming trend. To curb means to stop. To curb this alarming trend. Unless measures are taken to curb, to stop, to curb this alarming trend, the consequences may be dire. Now here, before we continue, make sure that every sentence that you use on IELTS has some specific vocabulary related to your topic. It is highly important because on IELTS there is a penalty for memorized sentences. Do not memorize sentences. Learn only phrases. Phrases that you can easily modify, and make sure that every sentence that you write in your essay contains the vocabulary which is specific to your particular topic. For example, do not write, unless measures are taken, this problem may have dire consequences, or this disturbing trend may have dire consequences. You need to specify what kind of trend. What are you talking about? Environmental pollution? Obesity among children? Mention specifically what problem, not just this problem. For example, I can say, unless measures are taken to curb swelling obesity rates. Swelling means increasing, growing obesity rates among children. The consequences for the whole generation may be dire. Be specific, be as specific as you can, but do learn the phrases because they will help you to express your ideas quickly so that you don't waste valuable time on the exam. So now let's try to see how we can use all these words to make an introduction, right? And again, remember phrases and chunks, not the whole sentences. Every sentence needs to be personalized. It's very important to remember that. Every sentence needs to be personalized. So let's take this topic. It's a very common topic. Many of my students report having it on the exam, so we will take it. More and more children are suffering from obesity. You can often see also more and more children are becoming overweight. It means the same. More and more children are becoming overweight. More and more children are becoming obese, or more and more children are suffering from obesity. Elaborate on the potential causes of this problem and its possible effects. Now, when we have a cause and effect essay in the introduction, in the first sentence, we need to mention the problem. We need to paraphrase it. In the second sentence, we need to mention something about the causes, be as specific as you can. And in the last sentence, or it can be just 2 sentences, but the last idea that you need to have in your introduction is about the effects. So don't forget, all these 3 ideas can be 2 sentences. You can put them in 3 sentences, in 4 sentences, as you wish, but the ideas should be here. You need to mention the problem, you need to mention the causes, and you need to mention the effects. You can state them specifically, or you can mention them more in a more generalized way, but the ideas have to be there. So let's say, first of all, I need to mention the background, right? I need to state the problem, and the problem is that more and more children are suffering from obesity. So I will say, as the prevalence of overweight among children is increasing, childhood obesity has become one of the major issues of the 21st century. Now, this sentence is good enough for band 7. If you are aiming at a higher band 8 or band 9, we need to make some changes to this sentence. So, for example, here I have the prevalence of overweight among children is increasing. First of all, I will modify this and I will say, as the prevalence of overweight among children is increasing at an alarming rate. So is increasing at an alarming rate instead of simply is increasing. Now I have childhood obesity has become one of the major problems of the 21st century. So here, instead of childhood obesity has become a significant problem, I will use the passive voice. So obesity among children, or childhood obesity, has come to be seen as one of the major problems of the 21st century. So to come to be means that we now find ourselves in this challenging or unpleasant situation, and then we use the passive voice. So childhood obesity has come to be seen as one of the major problems of the 21st century. Here again, problem, the pretty simple word. I can also say at least challenges. Childhood obesity has come to be seen as one of the major challenges of the 21st century. And since we are talking about obesity, that's a public health issue, that's what I can add here. Childhood obesity has come to be seen as one of the major public health challenges of the 21st century. So the adjustments that we have made to this sentence are very minor, but a minor adjustment here, a minor there, they combine, and these small little differences make a huge difference between band 7 and band 8 and band 9. So do take time and do make an effort to include these small things here and there, which show the examiner your proficiency of the language. If you are aiming, of course, at band 8 and band 9, if band 7 is enough for you, you don't need all these frills. So now let's move on to the next sentence. And in the next sentence, we need to mention something about the causes. So now I can say, I believe, or I can be more impersonal. It's always better in academic writing to be impersonal and to say it is felt instead of simply I believe or it is believed. It has long been recognized. It's always better in academic writing than simply I believe. So that's what I will use here. It is felt that this disturbing trend comes as a result of modern lifestyle. It is felt that this disturbing trend comes as a result of modern lifestyle. Or you can say, it has long been recognized that modern lifestyle is a major contributor to this alarming trend or disturbing trend, because we have already used alarming in the first sentence. So it has long been recognized that modern lifestyle is a major contributor to this disturbing trend. You can be more specific and say, for example, it is felt that, again, it is felt means the same as I believe, right? So, but it's impersonal. It is felt that poor eating habits and a lack of physical activity are the main contributing factors to this disturbing trend. Now we have the causes. You can choose any of these 3 sentences. They are interchangeable. They mean the same. You don't need to write all 3 of them, just one. And the last idea that we need to mention in the introduction is, of course, the effects. Unfortunately, unless measures are taken to curb the swelling obesity rates, the consequences for the whole generation may be dire, or the consequences for the health of the young generation may be dire. So once again, the whole introduction that we have looks like that. As the prevalence of overweight among children is increasing at an alarming rate, childhood obesity has come to be seen as one of the major public health challenges of the 21st century. It is felt that this disturbing trend comes as a result of modern lifestyle. Unfortunately, unless measures are taken to curb swelling obesity rates, the consequences for the health of the young generation may be dire. So these are the phrases that you can reuse for pretty much any cause and effect essay that I have seen. Now try to make your own introduction and share it with me in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to read it. In the next tutorial, we will do the guided writing practice, and we will write body 1, the causes, and we will write body 2, the effects of this issue, as well as the conclusion, of course. Now, if you are looking for essay correction services, I have a very good colleague of mine who offers such services for a minimal fee. He can check your essay, can give you an actionable piece of advice on how to improve your essay to achieve the band score that you want. So if you are interested, I will leave the link in the description box below. And that's it for this tutorial. I will see you in the next video. And remember, perseverance is the key to success. Bye bye.